Hey everyone, Mango7Roll here. How are we doing today? It is Hrungnir testing day, and it is not gameplay intensive. This is all data, all stuff I've done off cam. I actually have it recorded as well if you really want to see it, but it's really boring. It's just me manualing with Hrungnir a ton of times. The goal of this, my goal anyway, is I see a lot of chatter about whether or not Frenzy or Violent goes first, and a lot of guessing. And I was guessing before too. My guess was that Frenzy went ahead of Violent. And that's important. That's a big difference on whether or not you can use Violent on him, because if Violent goes ahead of Frenzy, you cannot use Violent on him. So we'll go through my data here. I did 89 attacks total, and thank you Baked Buns, I think, for helping me out with that. It was a bit of RTA with Rita. It took a while, but it was worth it, I think. So before going into this, I thought Frenzy overrode Violent, and my data proves it. And again, it's only 89 attacks. It's not big, but it is what it is, and I think it's enough to really get a perception of how it's working here. So out of my 89 attacks, 50 of them were Violent, or were Frenzy procs, which is just absurd to me. It's 16% over the rate. Obviously it's a really small sample size, but 56% is a really high number. I was expecting to get like 35 to 45. 56 is really kind of an oddball, and I think that's because I had 2 attempts where I went like 9 times in a row, and that kind of skewed the data. Most of my attempts were 0 to 1 Frenzy procs, which is what it should be. I also got 6 Violent procs in the entire thing, and this kind of confirms my theory that Frenzy goes ahead of Violent. I had a 7% Violent chance. If you go throughout the whole amount of data, that means all 89 attacks, which again kind of enforces Frenzy over Violent. So the way it works, I think, is that you have a 40% to proc your Frenzy, and then if your Frenzy fails, you then have a 22% chance to proc your Violent. And that's shown here, like I said. Also, we had 33 no procs. That means we didn't get a Violent and we didn't get a Frenzy. And to go deeper into this, we really need to look at the data again, and we need to look at the Violent procs just in consideration with the no procs. So we only had 39 of those, and out of those 39 we had 6 Violent procs, which added to about 15%. So we got less than we should have, but it's close enough that it doesn't really matter. And an 85% no proc. So anyway, that was my data for Hrungnir. This is not a whether he's good or not. This actually helps him be better than he was before. If it was the other way around, he'd be a lot worse. So there is that, and I will add a clip at the end here of my most consecutive hits in a row. And also, just as a heads up, another Violent related data thing here is in these 89 attacks, not once did I proc a Violent from my Frenzy and then proc enough Violence for Frenzy to be back up to complete the chain. So that means Violent, in my opinion, is not too important for him, because if you could proc Violent enough to get Frenzy back off cooldown and keep going on Frenzy, it would be fantastic. But in 89 attempts, it did not happen once, and that's the important part. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. This was Mango7Roll, really quick video here, and enjoy going 9 times against an arena, and hopefully you don't flip your table if something like this happens to you in RTA. Have a great day. See you next time.